We're not just talking about a rookie making a splash. Folks, this is a full-blown tsunami. Caitlyn Clark isn't just making waves. She's flooding the entire WNBA landscape. Franchises are practically evacuating their home courts, scrambling to NBA arenas as if someone yelled, "Clark's coming." Think of it: Atlanta, Chicago, Connecticut, Dallas, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., all scrambling for bigger venues just to handle the Clark quake. I mean, that's power. Somewhere out there, Angel Reese is probably doom scrolling, wondering why her name isn't plastered on these mega billboards. Look, both are incredible athletes, fierce competitors. But there's no denying that Caitlyn Clark is the hottest ticket in town right now. The Indiana Fever is America's team, and boy are the haters going to be furious. By the time this season is over, their heads are going to have exploded already. They're going to be so angry by the end of this WNBA season. Now, just soak this in. WNBA teams voluntarily ditching their beloved home court just to accommodate one rookie phenom? That's not hype, that's history. 6 different franchises are abandoning their regular spots to move into NBA arenas, meaning every Indiana Fever road game is now happening in a venue that seats at least 15,000. We're not talking trendy moves here. Clark fills arenas like nobody else in the league. While some teams are still playing in what feel like converted rec centers, Caitlyn's presence demands NBA-level real estate. That's superstar territory. 6 WNBA teams have moved their games to NBA-sized arenas. And let's not pretend these are just slightly bigger gymnasiums. These are full-on arena glow-ups, the Atlanta Dream moving up to the State Farm Arena. The Chicago Sky, yes, the same team that treated Angel Reese like she was the second coming of Michael Jordan, is now humbling itself with 2 United Center games, not for Clark. The People's Champion, Bang, just announced that Caitlyn Clark and the Fever will be playing 41 of 40 for games this year on national TV. It's hilarious when you think about it. Just last season, these teams were all fronting like Caitlyn Clark was just another draft pick. We don't need her, they said, chest puffed. The league is just fine, and yet, here we are. Same teams now groveling for court space big enough to hold the Clark crowds. It's not just rolling out the red carpet. It's demolishing the road and repaving it in gold bricks. Atlanta Dream moved 1 game to the State Farm Arena. Chicago Sky moved 2 games to the United Center. Connecticut Sun moved 1 game to TD Garden, home of the NBA Celtics. Special recognition goes to Connecticut. This franchise doesn't even have an NBA arena nearby. So what do? Pack their bags and shift the whole operation to Boston. That's right, new state, new zip code, new everything, just to make space for Caitlyn. That's not guest treatment, that's royalty-level hospitality. Can you imagine if Angel Reese tried to pull the same move? They'd laugh her all the way to a suburban middle school gym. We're now at the stage where Caitlyn Clark is probably going to be responsible for, like, 30% of the attendance of the WNBA. One ESPN analyst even called her the WNBA's walking GDP boost. He meant it as a joke, but honestly, the numbers back it up. Let's check in on the haters. The same ones who were yelling from the rooftops that Clark was overhyped have gone suspiciously silent. Why? Because their arenas are sold out, their jerseys are flying off the shelves, and their TV ratings are skyrocketing, all thanks to the player they pretended didn't matter. And Angel Reese still stewing over her not-so-unrivaled championship, watching Caitlyn get the spotlight, the schedule, and the stadiums. The Phoenix Mercury playing the NBA arena, the Seattle Storm do. There are 13 WNBA teams, 7 already playing NBA arenas. The other 6 are moving their games to NBA arenas versus Fever. You can't acknowledge that she is the needle mover. Before Caitlyn Clark touched down in the WNBA, the average game pulled in about 6,000 fans, basically enough to fill a medium-sized high school pep rally. But Clark, she's casually packing out 20,000-seat arenas like it's just another Tuesday. That's not just a boost, that's triple the usual turnout. The league execs are practically tripping over themselves, openly admitting they'd sacrifice home court advantage just to cash in on the Clark frenzy. That's not hype, that's a walking ATM in sneakers. Hey, people need to understand, she saved this league. There's no TV deals, no ad sponsorships, heck, no shoe deals for you Angel Reese, no McDonald's money, the league losing millions of dollars each year she saved them from bankruptcy time to be grateful bang 93% of her games on national TV. She's like that. Let's break down the numbers. WNBA attendance spiked 48% last season, and unless your math is broken, that increase has Caitlyn Clark's name stamped all over it. Teams aren't just scheduling her games, they're orbiting their whole season around her appearances. The Las Vegas Aces, the same team that rolls their eyes every time Clark's name trends, have quietly shifted multiple games to the T-Mobile Arena. And why? Because they know the Caitlyn effect is the real MVP. For all the eye rolls and cryptic tweets, even they can't deny she's the main attraction now. Here we are, Indiana Fever put this out just a few minutes ago. All eyes on us, 41 of our 44 games are on national television. But the real madness starts when you turn on the TV. Caitlyn Clark has locked in 41 nationally televised games this season. That's not just more airtime than any player. It's more than entire franchises have had in years. ESPN, ABC, CBS, NBA TV. Every network wants a bite of the Clark buffet. It's a broadcast feeding frenzy, and nobody's showing up for leftovers. The most television games in franchise history. The most national television games for a single team in WNBA history. Last season, the Indiana Fever weren't even an afterthought. They were basically the dusty book on the bottom shelf, ignored and unopened. But with Clark, suddenly they're the league's golden child, front and center in every primetime slot. The same team that was buried in the standings is now the crown jewel of WNBA coverage. You know that's eating away at players like Angel Reese. For years, they thought the throne was just sitting there waiting for them. Then along comes Caitlyn with her records, her ratings, and her ridiculous range, and suddenly it's her show. Networks aren't just picking any Fever games, they're targeting the spicy ones. ABC made sure they grabbed the Chicago matchups because, let's be honest, the Clark Reese saga is pure ratings gold. CBS locked in the Liberty clashes. ESPN made sure to book the showdown with the Aces. Who doesn't want to see Clark roast the super team that's been pretending she's not a problem? So is Caitlyn Clark overhyped? Maybe. Is she changing the game? Absolutely. Is she causing a little envy along the way? You bet. But the real story here is about the power of sports to inspire, to unite, and to drive change. And that's something we can all celebrate. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you never miss out. Click the video on the screen. See you here.